This is in no way my attempt to justify my comic book obsession. And this story, I really, really like. Artwork, the storytelling. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Pull List. My name is Travis. Let's talk about Suicide Squad. As some of you know, I've been posting videos on my daily channel called 15-second movie reviews, where I review every single wide release movie coming out this year in 15 seconds. Now, for the past few weeks, I have not been doing 15-second movie reviews, and there's a video down below explaining why. Also, Suicide Squad is one of those movies where you need a little more than 15 seconds to give it a proper review. And the majority of reviews for Suicide Squad have not been kind. But instead of taking a black or white approach, I decided to take a black and white approach. Without further ado, here is my pro and con list for Suicide Squad. Pro: it was better than I thought it was going to be because I went in with extremely low expectations. Con: I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Pro: visually, it was pretty entertaining. Con: the story had a couple of these weird jumps where the audience just had to go with it. Pro: Suicide Squad had jokes, which is a big deal for a DC Comics film adaptation. But con: it wasn't enough to take away from the negative conversation from Batman v Superman and the WB Extended Universe. Pro: Jared Leto as the Joker was not as awful as I thought it was going to be. But con: they left most of the Joker scenes on the cutting room floor, enough to make his own Joker movie. So I'm wondering why. Did they cut out all the good scenes, or did they cut out the scenes that were worse than the scenes that were in the film? Pro: I think Will Smith was great as Deadshot, but con: the killer with a heart of gold thing is really played out. Pro: a few of the characters, El Diablo for example, at least attempted to have a solid backstory. But con: El Diablo's lines just felt really forced most of the time, like the scriptwriters just got all of their dialogue from a mid-90s film. Pro: Captain Boomerang had some great scenes. When Flag says, "You're free to go," Captain Boomerang just gathers up his beer and just up and leaves immediately. Con: when did these villains start caring about each other? These are my friends! When did you guys become friends? Pro: Will Smith didn't have all the pivotal yet cheesy lines. I feel like I might have mentioned this in a video a while ago. And as Will Smith puts it in the trailer, there's some kind of Suicide Squad. He did it! He said the thing! And then later in the trailer, Will Smith goes, "Let's go save the world." I really hope it's not in Will Smith's contract to get all these pivotal but cheesy lines. Yeah, that. Con: who thought it was a good idea to send villains with guns, a baseball bat, and a boomerang to fight what looks like a temporal distortion? And while writing my list, I found out that I had a few more pros than I did cons. For example, Margot Robbie was a pretty solid Harley, the Bruce Timm Jester outfit and mallet made an appearance, and Viola Davis was amazing. She was one of the best villains in the film. And now I just want to take a moment to talk about the one thing that really, really bothered me about the film. The one thing that was just so different than how I felt it should have been that it bothered me so much, and that was the relationship between Joker and Harley. I get it. You have to have the Joker in the same universe for Harley to be there, and if you have Joker in the Suicide Squad film, that'll help draw other people into the movie seats to go see the film. I understand. Joker had to be there. Harley was there to bring people into a Suicide Squad movie. It's just a trail of getting people into the seats. What I didn't like, though, is that the Joker obviously cared about Harley. And in the comics, he isn't that obvious with his love. There is some twisted, demented caring, and he likes to have her around, but he doesn't care about her well-being that much. He messes with her head constantly. He drives her to the point of not caring about anything. He puts her in harm's way time and time again, uses her as a body shield countless times. In the film, I've seen so many people go watch Suicide Squad and then think that Joker and Harley have a crazy but healthy relationship. And that's not how it is at all. I understand that film adaptations can be slightly different than their paper predecessors, and that they can just get inspiration from previous stories in order to have a nice tight bow on a present of a product. But to say that the Joker would go out of his way to save Harley just, I feel, takes away from the Joker character. Harley was great because she thought the Joker was going to come save her. She thought that her puddin' was going to come rescue her and they were going to run off and have this great life. The Joker's ideology of that relationship is so completely different, which is the dynamic of how Harley is. She is supposed to think that he cares, and he is supposed to obviously not care, but then sort of care in a psychotic way, but also not care at all. And there are people that are probably going to think that just because I have a perception of a character doesn't mean that that's how the character should be played or come across, and that different mediums and all this, I understand, I get it. That's just something that really bothered me in this film. It just really bothered me a lot. The Joker's not supposed to care this much about Harley. He should have crashed the plane and the helicopter and then shown up later but not rescue her, and Harley should have broken out to go find him. That's how it should have been. And he shouldn't have had this whole big heist planned, because that's essentially all he did. This Joker cared about money and getting Harley back and killing anybody in his way, and he was just like another crime boss. There was nothing really Joker-esque about him, and I think that's what it is. That's what bothered me so much about Jared Leto's Joker, is that the Joker didn't seem like a Joker. He just seemed like a crime boss. He was like a skinny, green-haired kingpin or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I do need to watch it again and see how I feel about it. I will watch it if it comes out with like an extended Joker version where they have like an hour more of Joker footage, because I want to see if the Joker footage was actually that bad that they cut it out, or if it was really good and it just took away from the storyline, because I'm really interested to see why they cut all of that footage for Suicide Squad, because, you know, they tacked on Harley to bring in people to go see a Suicide Squad movie. They tacked on Joker because Joker has to exist for Harley to exist. And so it just feels like they were making a patchwork quilt of a movie, and then they shot too much Joker, and well, it's going to take away from the storyline. He wasn't originally this big in the story. We need to cut all this stuff. So maybe there is enough footage to make a Joker movie. I mean, a movie essentially marketed as Joker plans a heist to get Harley back, that would have been an okay movie. But this is Suicide Squad, and so, I don't know, maybe any more Joker footage would have taken away from the Suicide Squad movie. I don't know. I would love to know your guys' thoughts, what you thought about these awful reviews that Suicide Squad has been getting, what you honestly thought of the movie, what you think about Joker having all of these scenes that were left on the cutting room floor, what you thought about Harley. I'm really glad that this costume was in it, even for 2 shots, but at least she was wearing it in the one. That's important. I've been rambling on for far too long. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Anyway, that's it for this episode of The Pull List. As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for fueling my comic book obsession, and you will see me soon.